Listen to me carefully, because what I'm about to tell you is going to hit deep. You've been wondering why you walk alone. You've been questioning why no one seems to understand you, why friends drift away, why relationships never last, why you always end up feeling like the outsider. But here's the shocking truth. It's not rejection, it's protection. You are not being left out. You are being set apart. God has placed a divine covering over your life, and that covering requires separation. There's a reason you can't fit in where others belong so easily. There's a reason every time you try to force connections, something breaks. There's a reason you feel this invisible distance between you and the people around you. It's not because you're unworthy, it's because you've been chosen for something higher, and chosen ones rarely walk crowded paths. I need you to pause for a moment and breathe this in. Because deep down, you've been fighting the feeling, haven't you? You've been asking yourself, why does it seem like everyone else has their people, their tribe, their perfect relationships? But me? You've cried yourself to sleep wondering what's wrong with you. But nothing's wrong with you. In fact, God is doing something so deep, so divine, that He had to pull you away from the noise to prepare you for your purpose. And yes, it hurts. It hurts when you see everyone else laughing in groups, when you scroll and see couples smiling, when your calls go unanswered and your heart whispers, why not me? But what you don't see yet is that this isolation is not punishment, it's positioning. God isolates His strongest soldiers because the battle they are being prepared for cannot be fought in crowds. Chosen ones are different. Your spirit operates on a different frequency, and that means not everyone can stay connected to you. Some people's energy cannot coexist with your calling. Some conversations would poison your clarity. Some relationships would block your growth. That's why they leave. That's why doors close. That's why you walk alone. Because God is keeping you from aligning with people and situations that would delay, distract, or destroy what He has planned for you. You need to hear this. The loneliness you feel is not a sign of abandonment. It's a sign of elevation. Every season of separation is a season of transformation. God hides His chosen ones before He reveals them. Think about it. Diamonds are formed in darkness. Seeds grow beneath the soil. Eagles are trained in the quiet of the high mountains before they ever soar. Do you really think your path was ever meant to look like everyone else's? And yet, I know your heart aches. I know there are days you question your worth, but stop measuring your value by the number of people around you. God didn't call you to be common. He called you to be set apart. And when God sets you apart, He also sets a hedge of protection around you. That's why certain friendships didn't work. That's why certain relationships fell apart. That's why you never fully clicked with the crowd. It was God saying, I need you to myself right now. I'm molding you. I'm sharpening you. I'm preparing you. But here's what I need you to understand. The very season that feels like isolation is the same season where God is building the foundation for your next level. He's cutting away attachments that can't go where you're headed. He's exposing people's true intentions before they can betray you later. He's keeping you from relationships that would break you in ways you wouldn't recover from. What feels like rejection today will make sense when you see the magnitude of what's coming. You've been asking God for answers. You've begged for clarity. And here it is. You're walking alone because where He's taking you, not everyone can come. Some roads are too narrow for company. Some blessings are too heavy for people who haven't been trained to carry them. You are being elevated to places where crowd approval won't sustain you. Only God's guidance will. So don't mistake being set apart for being unloved. You're not unloved. You're being protected. You're being saved from heartbreaks you can't yet see, from betrayals that haven't yet unfolded, from spiritual traps that were designed to stop you. Sometimes God will remove people before they can harm you. Sometimes He'll silence connections before they can speak against you. Sometimes He'll keep you unseen before the wrong eyes discover you. This is why you feel different. This is why your soul has always felt out of place. You were never meant to blend in. You were born to stand out. But here's the thing. Standing out first requires standing alone. And when you accept that, when you finally stop chasing connections that aren't meant for you, something incredible happens. Your spirit aligns with your destiny, and suddenly, you begin attracting people who are meant to walk this path with you. Not before, not too soon, only when it's time. And right now, it's not time yet. This season is about you. It's about your healing, your growth, your refinement. It's about God stripping away distractions so you can hear His voice clearly. He's teaching you to find fulfillment in Him first before you find it in people. He's teaching you to become whole within yourself before you try to merge with someone else. Don't rush the process. Don't fight the separation. What feels like isolation today is laying the groundwork for your transformation tomorrow. And the moment you surrender to it, the pain will start to make sense. This isn't the end, it's the preparation. Because soon, very soon, you're going to understand why God didn't let you fit in. You'll see why He made you walk alone. And when He reveals it, you'll be grateful for every door that closed, every call that went unanswered, every friend who walked away. Because it all had to happen exactly the way it did to get you where He's taking you next. And where He's taking you is far beyond anything you've imagined. You've wondered why people suddenly distance themselves, why connections that felt so real end before they even begin, and why relationships that seem promising dissolve without explanation. You start questioning yourself, doubting your worth, blaming your flaws. But listen closely. It's not rejection, it's redirection. What feels like isolation is actually protection, carefully designed by God. Some doors in your life never opened because behind them were battles you were never meant to fight. Certain friendships didn't last because the paths they were walking would have destroyed your spirit. And those relationships that didn't work out, they weren't a failure. They were divine detours steering you toward destiny. You're not meant to be tangled with every soul you meet, chosen one, because the weight of your calling is too heavy for people who haven't been prepared to carry it with you. But here's the part most don't understand. God isolates before He elevates. When He's preparing you for something greater, He pulls you away from the noise, away from the distractions, away from the voices that could mislead you. Sometimes the silence around you is not emptiness, it's construction. Heaven is building something in you that cannot be built in the crowd. Pause for a second and let that sink in. If you were surrounded by everyone, listening to every opinion, seeking validation from every voice, you would never hear the whispers of God directing your steps. Your isolation is intentional because revelation requires separation. And yes, it hurts. There are nights when the loneliness weighs like chains on your chest. There are moments when you look around and realize you have no one to call, no one who truly sees the battles behind your smile. But what if I told you those tears were seeds? That every sleepless night has been planting strength, patience, and wisdom deep within you. Chosen one, your solitude is shaping you into someone unstoppable. You might think you're losing people, but in reality, God is losing them for you because they were never meant to walk where you're going. Not everyone can handle the weight of your purpose. Some people would have slowed you down, some would have dimmed your light, and others would have drained your energy until nothing remained. So God, in His mercy, removes what you didn't have the strength to let go of yourself. This is why relationships collapse without warning. This is why friendships fade into silence. This is why invitations stop coming. Because God is building a circle around you so small that, for a season, it only fits you and Him. But here's the truth most people overlook. The walk of the chosen is designed to feel lonely so that you become fully dependent on the one who called you. If you had endless support, constant companionship, and unconditional acceptance from the world, your faith would never stretch beyond comfort. God is forcing you into places where He is the only voice left to follow. That's not punishment. That's preparation. And I need you to hear this. Your silence is power. Your absence from certain rooms is divine strategy. While others gather crowds, God hides you. While they chase applause, God shields you. While they're seen by many, God keeps you unseen until the time is right. It's not because you're behind, it's because you're being positioned. Think about it. Diamonds are not formed in sunlight. They're forged deep beneath the earth, under relentless pressure, away from sight. Seeds don't grow in open fields. They break in darkness, hidden beneath the soil where no one can see their transformation. That's you right now. You are not abandoned. You are becoming. And this is where it gets even deeper. God isn't just protecting you from people. He's also protecting you for people. There are souls waiting for the version of you that's still being shaped in the silence. There are destinies tied to your obedience, lives that will only shift because you walked the lonely road first. You cannot guide others to freedom if you've never faced the wilderness yourself. So yes, it's painful. Yes, it feels unfair. But one day you'll understand why God didn't allow certain hands to hold you, certain voices to shape you, or certain relationships to define you. The separation was never rejection. It was a divine invitation into a higher dimension of purpose. And right now, even when your heart aches and your mind feels heavy, I need you to trust this. If God has you walking alone, it's because He's walking with you. Every step you take in this season is setting you apart, refining you and preparing you for what others cannot yet see. Because when the time comes, chosen one, you won't need to chase connection. The right people, aligned with your purpose, will find you. The friendships meant to sharpen you will show up effortlessly. The relationships divinely orchestrated for you will come without striving, without confusion, and without pain. But that cannot happen until God finishes what He's building in you right now, in secret. And here's the twist. The same people who left you will watch your elevation. The same ones who doubted you will witness your becoming. But when they come back, and some will, you'll know that your spirit no longer fits where you once belonged. Not out of pride, but because you've grown beyond the version of yourself they knew. This is your season of divine solitude. Don't fight it. Don't numb it. Don't rush it. Feel it. Embrace it. Honor it. Because the silence around you isn't empty. It's pregnant with transformation. Every unanswered call, every closed door, every lonely night, it's evidence that heaven is working on your behalf. And while you're hidden, God is sharpening your discernment. He's teaching you to hear His whispers above the noise. He's aligning you with opportunities no human hand can sabotage. And He's preparing you for a release so powerful that when it comes, nothing and no one will be able to stop it. You're walking alone right now because the path you're on is sacred. Few are invited. Fewer are chosen. And you are one of them. And maybe that's why God isolated you. Not because you were unworthy of love, but because the wrong kind of love would have destroyed you before your purpose ever had a chance to bloom. There were people you thought would always be by your side, people you would have sacrificed everything for, but God saw something you couldn't. He saw their intentions, their hidden motives, the jealousy buried behind their smiles. While you were busy holding on, He was busy protecting you by removing them. And yes, it hurt. It broke you in ways you couldn't explain. But one day, you'll look back and realize it was never rejection. It was divine redirection. Pause for a moment and hit the like button if this speaks to your soul. Because what I'm about to reveal next will change the way you see your entire life. You see, chosen ones aren't meant to blend in. They're designed to stand out. You weren't sent here to follow the crowd. You were sent here to lead. And sometimes, leadership looks like walking through seasons of extreme loneliness, where no one claps for you, no one checks on you, and no one seems to understand you. But that's where God is shaping you. That's where He's stripping away the noise so you can finally hear His voice clearly. Every silent night, every unanswered call, every moment you felt like nobody cared, It wasn't random. It was God's way of removing distractions so he could elevate you without interference. But here's the twist most people don't see. Isolation isn't punishment, it's preparation. If you're feeling like you're walking alone right now, it's not because you've been abandoned. It's because you've been handpicked for something so big, so divine, that the people around you couldn't go where you're headed. They weren't built to carry what you're about to carry, and I know what you're thinking right now. But why me? Why do I have to be the one who loses everything? Why do I have to be the one without friends, without a relationship, without anyone who truly understands me? The answer is simple, yet it changes everything. Because God trusted you. He saw strength in you that you don't even see in yourself. He knew that if he pulled you away from the crowd, you wouldn't break, you'd transform. And that transformation is exactly what the enemy fears. Listen carefully. Every delay, every unanswered prayer, every door that seemed to slam in your face was not God rejecting you. It was him protecting you from connections, relationships, and opportunities that would have sabotaged your destiny. You think losing them was painful. Imagine what would have happened if they'd stayed. God removed them because he heard conversations you never heard. He saw plans they never showed you, and he knew their presence would block the blessings. He's preparing for you. There's a reason you don't fit into circles you used to love. There's a reason old friends don't call anymore. There's a reason every relationship you thought would last forever suddenly crumbled. God isn't cruel, he's strategic. He's positioning you in silence so that when he brings you into your next season, no one can take credit for your breakthrough but him. And that's exactly what makes you dangerous to the enemy. Because while everyone else is busy chasing validation from people, you're being trained to depend only on God. That's power. That's unshakable faith. That's the mark of a chosen one. But here's the part. Most people never tell you. Walking alone isn't just about separation. It's about elevation. God is preparing you to handle blessings that would crush the average person. He's refining your character, sharpening your discernment, and teaching you how to recognize wolves in sheep's clothing. Because chosen ones don't just attract blessings, they also attract battles. And if you don't learn how to fight those battles alone with God, you'll lose everything he's preparing to give you. Think about it. If the enemy can't destroy your destiny, he'll try to distract you with people who look like they love you, but secretly want to drain you. He'll send relationships that feel right, but are designed to delay you. He'll keep you surrounded by voices so loud that you can't hear God's whispers. That's why God separated you. That's why he kept you alone when all you wanted was connection. He wasn't punishing you, he was preserving you. And here's something you need to hear. God hasn't forgotten about your heart. He knows the prayers you've whispered in the dark, the tears no one else sees, the nights you've begged him for companionship and understanding. But he also knows that right now, love from the wrong person could become a weapon against your calling. That's why he's keeping you hidden. That's why he's saying not yet. Because when it's time, when the person who's truly aligned with your purpose enters your life, you won't have to chase them, force them, or question them. They'll fit effortlessly into the space God carved out for them. Until then, he's asking you to trust the isolation, to trust that every empty room and unanswered text is part of a bigger plan, to trust that the silence isn't absence, it's strategy. Because the truth is, chosen ones are often hidden before they're revealed. Diamonds are formed in darkness, seeds grow underground, prophets are called in solitude. You are not forgotten, you're being prepared. And the deeper the preparation, the greater the calling. But here's where it gets even more powerful. Your loneliness is about to become your testimony. One day, the same people who overlooked you, abandoned you, and doubted you will watch in disbelief as God elevates you in ways they never imagined. The same voices that laughed at you will whisper your name with reverence. And when that happens, you'll understand why you had to walk this path alone. It's because God wanted the story to be undeniably his. Don't confuse temporary isolation with permanent rejection. What you're feeling right now isn't the end. It's the setup. You're not walking alone because you're unworthy. You're walking alone because God is walking you into something extraordinary. Stay close to Him, stay grounded in prayer, and whatever you do, don't quit in the silence, because your breakthrough is closer than you think. Sometimes you sit there wondering, why does it feel like everyone has someone except me? Why does it seem like everyone around you is surrounded by friends, relationships, and people who get them, while you're left walking this lonely path? And deep down, you think maybe something's wrong with you. But listen carefully. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not being punished. You are being set apart. You see, chosen ones are not called to blend in. They are called to stand out. And the only way God can truly elevate you is by pulling you away from the noise. The path you're on right now is sacred, and God cannot allow you to be distracted by people who do not carry the same light, the same calling, or the same capacity to walk where you're going. Sometimes God removes people from your life, not because they're bad, but because their presence would delay your purpose. You're not lonely, you're being positioned, and if you could see what's ahead of you, you would understand why this isolation is necessary. Because here's the truth, not everyone can handle the weight of your destiny. Not everyone can breathe at the altitude God is taking you to. And not everyone can survive the storms designed to shape you. So instead of asking, why am I alone? Start asking, what is God building inside me during this season? Because right now, He's removing every counterfeit connection that could distract, delay, or derail you. You may notice how every time you try to open your heart to people, something goes wrong. Misunderstandings happen, friendships fade, relationships crumble, plans fall apart. It's frustrating, I know, but what if I told you it's not rejection, it's protection? God sees what you can't see. He hears conversations you were never meant to hear. He knows intentions you could never discern. And in His mercy, He's blocking access to people who would have broken you had you kept them close. There's a reason you feel that inner nudge when something's off. There's a reason your spirit feels restless around certain people. That's God whispering, this is not for you. It's not paranoia, it's discernment. You're not meant to be surrounded by crowds. You're meant to be guided by clarity. Crowds create confusion, but God uses solitude to sharpen your spiritual senses. This season isn't about connection, it's about construction. Pause for a moment and really let this sink in. God is stripping away every distraction because He's preparing to elevate you. He's training you to hear His voice above the noise of the world. He's teaching you how to stand on your own feet, fully anchored in His presence. So when the blessing comes, you won't lose yourself trying to please people who were never assigned to your journey. And yes, I know it hurts. I know there are nights you cry quietly, wondering why you're misunderstood, why no one truly sees you, why no one shows up the way you show up for them. But listen to me, you are not unseen. God sees you. Every tear, every silent prayer, every lonely thought, He's been there through it all. You are being separated so you can be sanctified. You are being isolated so you can be illuminated. You are being pulled back so you can be propelled forward. And if you've been questioning yourself lately, thinking maybe you're too much or maybe you're not enough, let me remind you, you are exactly who God designed you to be. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're being prepared. Chosen one, this is not the season to chase people. This is the season to chase purpose. The relationships that are meant for you will come effortlessly, divinely, and in perfect timing. But right now, God is teaching you how to walk with Him first. Because the truth is, the next level of your life requires a stronger, wiser, more discerning version of you. And that version cannot be built in noisy rooms filled with wrong voices. It can only be built in the quiet places where you learn to hear God above everything else. And here's the most important part. You are not missing out. You are being saved from unnecessary heartbreak, betrayal, and chaos that would have crushed your spirit. That relationship that didn't work out? Protection. That friend who drifted away? Protection. That group you no longer fit in with. Protection. This season is not punishment, it's preparation. And if you lean into it instead of resisting it, you'll discover that your solitude isn't empty. It's sacred. It's where God whispers secrets that cannot be spoken in crowded spaces. Because where He's taking you next, not everyone can come. And this is where most chosen ones start to break. When the silence gets louder, when the nights get longer, when you start questioning, am I really meant for something greater, or am I just forgotten? But hear me, you are not forgotten. That hollow ache in your chest, that longing for connection, that unshakable loneliness, it is not a punishment, it is preparation. God removes before He replaces. He isolates before He elevates. You're being emptied so He can fill you with something greater than you've ever imagined. That's why every attempt to cling to people who aren't aligned with your destiny keeps collapsing. That's why friendships suddenly feel shallow. That's why relationships fall apart no matter how tightly you hold on. It's not rejection, it's redirection. Sometimes you cry in secret because no one sees the battles you fight inside your mind. You smile in front of people, but deep down, you're screaming for someone to understand you, someone to feel you, someone to hold your heart gently. And yet God doesn't let anyone close enough to do it. Why? Because not everyone is meant to carry the weight of your calling. Some would mishandle it, some would dilute it, some would destroy it. Pause for a second and let that sink in. Your isolation is divine protection. If certain people were allowed access to your heart right now, they would sabotage your destiny before it's even birthed. That's why God is holding you back, shielding you from relationships that would keep you small, keeping you away from conversations that would drain your spirit, and disconnecting you from circles that would never celebrate your rise. But there's a danger here. Loneliness can trick you into thinking you're unloved. That's where many chosen ones stumble. You start forcing connections, chasing validation, seeking comfort in temporary hands, and every time, it leaves you emptier than before. You wonder why nothing satisfies, why no relationship feels right, why no friendship lasts. That's because your spirit was never designed to be fulfilled by the ordinary. You were crafted for the extraordinary. You are not called to blend in. You're called to stand apart. But standing apart is painful. It feels like walking through a desert with no map, no company, and no sign of water. You start doubting yourself, doubting your worth, doubting your very purpose. And yet right there, in the wilderness, is where God builds His strongest warriors. Look closely at your life. Every ending, every separation, every lonely season, they're not random, they're strategic. God is clearing the noise so you can finally hear His voice. The problem is, most people can't handle silence. Silence exposes wounds you haven't healed from. Silence forces you to face truths you've been avoiding. Silence makes you confront who you really are beneath the masks and performances. And that's exactly where your transformation begins. Every chosen one goes through a wilderness season, a space where God strips away distractions, dismantles your old identity, and breaks you free from attachments that don't serve your purpose. It hurts because you don't understand why He's removing things you thought you needed. But soon, you'll realize He's not taking from you. He's protecting you from settling for less than what's already written for you. Think about it. If the door didn't close, you'd never move forward. If that friend didn't betray you, you'd still trust the wrong people. If that relationship didn't fall apart, you'd still be clinging to someone who couldn't go where God is taking you. Sometimes, God allows heartbreak because your destiny cannot survive where your heart once found comfort. And yet, here you are, still breathing, still standing, still carrying a fire within you. That's not an accident. That's divine proof that your story isn't over. But there's something deeper you need to understand. Chosen ones are different. You carry a light in you that unsettles people even when you're silent. That's why you notice strange shifts in energy around you. People you've never wronged become distant. Loved ones stop showing up the way they used to. You feel left out of conversations, excluded from circles, misunderstood by those you once trusted. It's not your fault. Your spirit is speaking louder than your words, and some people can't handle the weight of who you're becoming. This separation isn't rejection, it's refinement. God is teaching you how to walk alone so you can stand strong when He elevates you. Because when the blessing comes, not everyone will clap. When the breakthrough arrives, not everyone will celebrate you. Some will envy you, some will oppose you, some will try to pull you back into who you used to be. That's why He's building your strength in private before He reveals you in public. And here's the truth most won't tell you. Elevation is lonely. Destiny is lonely. Walking the narrow path means leaving behind the comfort of the crowd. But what feels like loss now is actually alignment. You're being separated from what's temporary so you can be prepared for what's eternal. Don't mistake this season for abandonment. God hasn't left you. He's just removing every voice that would drown out His whisper. Do you ever wonder why your path feels so isolated? Why the silence around you is louder than the noise of the world? Chosen one, this is not punishment. This is preparation. You keep trying to blend in, but no matter how hard you try, something keeps pulling you out. You watch others form circles, build connections, and live in constant companionship. Yet here you are, walking alone, carrying burdens no one else sees. And still, deep inside, there's a voice whispering, "Keep walking." This isolation isn't random. God separates you to elevate you. There are seasons when He hides you so that He can heal you. You've been misunderstood, judged, and even abandoned by people you thought would stand by your side. But what if I told you their absence is part of your anointing? Some people couldn't stay because their presence would have limited where God is taking you. Some relationships had to fail because their vision couldn't handle the magnitude of your calling. There's a weight on your life, chosen one, a divine weight, and not everyone can carry it with you. That's why you feel disconnected, even in a crowded room. That's why friendships fade without explanation. It's not because you're unworthy of love. It's because God's love is too jealous to let distractions derail your destiny. Every door that shut, every number that stopped calling, every hand that let go. It was protection, not rejection. You've been wondering why it's taking so long. Why does it feel like God is holding you back while everyone else is running ahead? But what you don't see is the battlefield around you. In the unseen, God is aligning divine timing. He's breaking chains you didn't even know existed. He's clearing paths that would have trapped you. You've been delayed, yes, but you're not denied. Chosen one, the silence in your life right now is not empty. It's sacred. It's where God whispers things He cannot reveal in the noise. It's where He strengthens you, equips you, and shapes you into the vessel He needs. That's why certain people were removed before they could corrupt your heart. That's why certain opportunities slipped away, because they were traps dressed as blessings. You may feel abandoned, but heaven is closer than ever. Angels have been assigned to your journey. Your prayers have not been ignored. They've been heard, stored, and answered in ways you can't yet see. Every lonely night, every tear that fell on your pillow, every moment you questioned your worth, God saw it all, and He's turning it into fuel for your breakthrough. Pause for a moment and breathe. You've survived storms that should have destroyed you. You've endured heartbreaks that should have hardened you, yet your heart still beats with faith. That's not weakness. That's divine strength. That's God proving to you that no rejection, no betrayal, no loneliness can break what He's building inside you. Chosen one, your isolation is the incubator of your transformation. But hear me clearly, this season will not last forever. God is preparing connections that align with your purpose, relationships rooted in truth, and opportunities that honor your calling. But first, He needs you to walk alone so that when He elevates you, you'll know who carried you there, and that elevation is closer than you think. The very people who overlooked you, who doubted you, who whispered behind your back, they're about to witness the fullness of what God placed inside you. Not because you sought revenge, but because His favor speaks louder than any explanation you could give. The loneliness, temporary. The preparation, necessary. Your path is narrow because your purpose is massive. Chosen one, keep walking, keep trusting, and keep your eyes fixed on the one who set you apart. Because in the very silence you fear, God is writing the loudest chapter of your story. And maybe, just maybe, that's why you've been feeling this deep, unshakable pull inside you. That's why you feel restless, like you don't belong anywhere. It's not loneliness, chosen one. It's alignment. God has been stripping away distractions, removing voices that don't serve your destiny, and silencing environments that would water down your power. You keep asking, why am I walking this path alone? Why do I have no friends, no relationships, no one who truly understands me? And God is answering you, not with words, but with His actions. He has isolated you because elevation requires separation. There are heights He's taking you to that not everyone can breathe in. The air is thinner where you're going. Few can survive it. You've outgrown rooms you used to fit in. Conversations that once entertained you now drain you. People who used to feel like home now feel like strangers. It's not because something is wrong with you. It's because something different has been planted in you, and God is fiercely protecting it. You are carrying something rare, something weighty, something that cannot be contaminated by ordinary energy. He needed to pull you away from the noise so you could hear His whisper. He needed to keep you from attaching to the wrong hearts, the wrong hands, the wrong plans, because one wrong connection could delay the entire destiny He has written for you. But here's the secret. Your isolation is your incubation. This is the wilderness season where God is building you in silence. Every tear, every lonely night, every unanswered call is part of the molding. He's stretching your faith so that when the breakthrough comes, you'll be unshakable. He's strengthening your spirit so that when the blessings arrive, you won't fold under the weight of them. He's cutting away what cannot go where He's taking you, even if that means cutting away people you thought would always stay. Chosen one, you are not behind. You are being positioned. There's a reason certain doors slammed shut. There's a reason they couldn't love you right. There's a reason friendships fell apart. You begged God to make them stay, but He knew their presence would cost you your purpose. And when God removes, He replaces. When He isolates, He elevates. When He says, not them, He's always saying, there's better ahead. So the next time you feel like you're walking alone, remember this. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. You're not forgotten, you're being hidden. You're not unloved, you're being set apart. Every unanswered prayer, every silent season, every lonely road is leading you to the exact place God designed for you, long before you even knew who you were. And when it all makes sense, when the people who rejected you see the table God set before you, when the ones who underestimated you witness the doors He opens for you, you'll understand why He kept you to Himself. He's not just protecting your heart, He's protecting your anointing, your calling, your purpose. Pause for a moment and breathe this in. The very loneliness you hate right now is proof that you're chosen, proof that you're carrying something sacred, proof that God trusts you with a journey most people couldn't handle. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to be ordinary. That longing in your soul, that ache for more, is heaven's confirmation that there is more, and it's waiting for you on the other side of this season. Stay the course. Don't chase what God has released. Don't reopen doors He has closed. Don't fight to fit where you no longer belong. Your path is different because your purpose is different. And when the right connections come, when the right relationships arrive, you won't have to question it, force it, or beg for it. God will send people who recognize you without explanation, who love you without conditions, who align with your spirit without resistance. Until then, walk boldly in your solitude. Protect your energy, guard your vision, and keep your eyes fixed on the one who called you, because soon, very soon, you will understand why you had to walk alone. And when you do, you'll thank God for every no, every closed door, every season of silence, because they were never rejection. They were divine redirection.